Existence Brewing.
Here's another Existence Brewing single shot.
As I was once told by a very wise person that I worked with in management, said, Jack, there are people sitting on the other end of the radio waiting to be offended. And, I got it, which means they're sitting there waiting to complain about something. Just like a person will go to a restaurant and everything can be perfect, but they're going to wait to pick on the one thing that wasn't quite right. And then that's all they're going to focus on. So I understood that remark when it was made to me. So that said, I got one of those today about something that I said yesterday. So here's what I said yesterday, just so you know. It was one of my little bits that I do. It's called Headline Time. And I take a headline, an actual headline from a newspaper, or these days typically something offline, and then off of the headline, making no further references to the story or not reading the story, I just make a quick quip off of that. We just do a little quick gag off of that, okay? And so this headline, I don't recall what it said verbatim, but it said something about a Chinese car company has invented a driver's seat toilet that's intuitive or something, or voice-activated driver's seat toilet, okay? That was the headline. Chinese car company invents driver-activated toilet, in-seat toilet, something like that. And the gag was, well, if you ask me, I think most people would imagine that any car made in China would be worth taking a shit in. And then I have the flush sound effect. And of course, shit is bleep, but you can clearly tell that's what I said.
Yeah.
Immediately afterwards, because I know when this aired, which was around 6:43, 6:44 p.m., 6:47 p.m., here comes this email that I got shared today from this person. Named after a fruit, I might add. I'll just say it because fuck it. Their name was Peaches. No fooling. Their name was Peaches. And because there was a legitimate last name attached to this, like Johnson or something. It was like Peaches Johnson or Peaches Irwin or something. This fucking person's name was Peaches. Now, look, to each their own. Your parents were love children, sleeping in the orchard fucking and having babies out there in the peach orchard. That's great. Your fucking name is Peaches, okay? So
That's
where's
good.
Herb would be my first question. Where the fuck is Herb? What did you do with him? Is he in the trunk? Is he dead? Because Peaches and Herb always go together like peaches and cream.
Yes.
So Peaches calls me a racist. Peaches calls me a racist. Peaches says, and first of all, I don't mind being called a racist because it's the most easy thing, and this is really what I want to kind of talk about, is the platitude of being called a racist. This bullshit thing where we've got these people running around that, if I just call them out.
It's a trigger word.
Then I look like $1 million to the world. I'm redeemed for every bad fucking thing I've done in the last couple of months, which is a lot probably, Peaches. I've been watching you, of guys keeping a fucking eye on you, Peaches. So he's just, she or he, I don't even know what it is, going to throw out the easiest fucking thing in the 21st century to throw out at somebody. You're a racist. That remark about the Chinese car was a racist remark. You're a racist. Grow up. That's what they said. Grow up and realize. And here's the thing that really got me, though, was the logic behind why, to Peaches at least, it was a racist-driven remark. Grow up, they say, and realize that 99% of the things we use in the world today come from China, so they can't be all that bad. Hey, Peaches, I got news for you. Shit comes from China. Stuff manufactured in China is a piece of fucking shit. You ever hear of Temu? You ever hear of Shein? I have clothes from there. They're made of styrofoam. They're made of fucking styrofoam. I keep them because they're cool, and I like cool clothes. You meanie. It's like, oh my God, come on, you can do better than that.
It's a charged word. Okay, so one of the things that I was going to bring up, and this is totally organic because Peaches has just nailed something that I really had been kind of brewing over, and I don't know what it was that spurred this, but I do feel like there has been kind of an overuse of certain words.
Yes.
And almost a
hackneyed. They're called hackneyed words, if you will.
Yes.
Yeah.
Racism is one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Sexist.
Racist.
Sexist is one of them. Bigot. is another one.
Narcissist. Everybody thinks they know a narcissist when really the clinical definition is quite out there. Yeah.
Yeah. Narcissism is one of them.
Systemic. Throw that one in there too. We never had that one until recently as well. Systemic.
A lot of buzzwords. And I guess the reason I would say that we all need to kind of take pause is I think that the true root of the word and meaning and that kind of person, a racist or whatever, it has become so commonplace. It like you using the word, oh, he's a racist, it is so commonplace now that it almost downplays.
Yeah, it's ineffectual now. It
doesn't have the same meaning that it once did.
There's an impetucy to the word, but it's just like, look, okay, I mean, maybe I'm not up to date on 2026 standards, but here's the deal, at least the way that I see it. If me calling out the goods and or services that come from a particular nation as being of subpar quality compared to other places around the world,
i.e. China,
if I am a racist for saying that, well, then, goddamn it, I'm a racist, I guess, because I'm not backing down on what I believe to be just an absolute statement of analysis. It's, first of all, I mean, telling me to grow up, grow up, it's 2026. That's literally what they said. Grow up, it's 2026. Everything's made in China, and 99% of the world uses stuff from there, so it can't be all bad. You have lost your mind, Peaches. You've lost it because you're not able to, objectively think about anything at this point. You're so busy wanting to clad everyone as a racist or a thisist or a thatist that you've lost your objectivity. You've lost your ability to look at a situation and say, well, we've had 95 different VCRs, hon, and 94 of them were made in China, and they lasted about 2 months. But this one we got, this Zenith thing that we picked up used down at Burt's on the corner for $10, this was already 75 years old or 17 years old, and it's been running for the last. I mean, look, you cannot lose your objectivity to rash righteousness, to rash righteousness that's going to make you feel others are going to exalt you for this. Now you get to stand up and fold your arms in pride with your little cape flapping in the wind on your goddamn. You're just like, see, I called him out. I called him a racist. I did what you're supposed to do. I showed him.
Just for Peaches' sake, if Peaches is listening to the podcast, which I doubt she is, because she would have tuned out a long time ago.
We also don't know if it's a she or a he. I don't know that.
We don't know what her pronouns are or its pronouns are. So here's the thing that I would say to Peaches. Peaches, if Jack was indeed a racist, he would have said the following. Those Asian cars aren't worth a shit. And that would have been racist. Because he would have been associating the car or product in question with the race of a generalized population. That would have been racist. What you said was not racist.
Well, anyway, I digress. Those
are the things. It is
like
scary.
I said, no one likes to be called a racist. I've been called a communist many more times than I've been called a racist, but I've been called a lot of things. And look, I can take it. It's not a big deal to me. The issue that bothers me here is just the ignorance. It's the absolute just sleep that Peaches is walking through life in, because and again, it's easy for Peaches and others like them to turn around and say, well, this is just Jack trying to defend his racism. This is what people do when they want to defend their racism. Look, this is me saying, why don't you think a little bit more objectively about what you're so upset about?
Right.
You're literally telling me that because I made a joke where I said most people would consider, and this is exactly what I said too in the joke, I said most people would consider any car made in China worth taking a shit in. That was the joke, okay? And the whole crux of the joke is, guess what? Stuff that's made in China, not that great. Doesn't last for that long, falls apart. But, I forgot, too, this. the coup d'etat, the coup de ville.
Are we going back to Peaches?
On top of us. No, we're going back to my program manager. We're going back to my program director, who holds it in my face. Couldn't wait,
Right.
Look at this. Someone called. What did you say? Someone called you a racist. You got pegged. And it's just like, yeah, you show me this after probably 17 nice things have been said in the last couple of months. I didn't see a lick of those. Anyway, then he says he has to top it by saying this. I'm already pissed off enough about Peaches after reading the email and going, oh, goddamn Peaches, what are you? I'm going to have to deal with this now. He says, he's not my boss, but the guy who runs the station.
Yeah, the brand manager.
Actually, they're manufacturing some of the best electric vehicles in the world in China right now. They could put ours to shame. And I'm just, oh my God, will you give me a fucking break already?
So
between you and Peaches, you're killing me.
So we've played word association before, and regulars to the program will play. So, okay, racist? No. He was stereotyping. See, and if she would have said, you're stereotyping, I don't agree with you, you're stereotyping, then it would have been correct. But no, she had to use a charged word. She had to go to her quiver of words, and she chose racist. And in the context, Peaches, he was not being a racist. He was stereotyping.
Well, then I also have to be honest. I don't think about Chinese people until I have to encounter one to deal with. And it's like, oh, look at this. You're fucking Chinese. Okay, cool. What am I? I'm going to buy some food from you. I'm going to buy some egg rolls from you today. I'm going to buy, I'm walking into a store in Chinatown because I'm there with my girlfriend. And the guy in the market says, hello, nice day to you. And I say, hey, how's it going? It's like, hey, the guy's Chinese. Cool. All right. I mean, I don't have a racist bone in my body. And you know what? I'm not going to defend that by telling you about all of the causes and all of the different assortment of people that I know that are different. I've known some different races.
No, I know you're not
generally
racist. Generally,
where we come from is as white as Idaho, man.
Yeah.
Okay, so we don't have a huge mix of people here. But I can tell you the line that I always say when people ever want to attack or assault in that way, I just say, listen, I don't have time to be a racist. I got too many other things on my mind that I'm thinking about besides how to separate a bunch of people who might look slightly different or in whatever way are racially different from me, separated biologically, genetically from me, worried about how different they are and how much that bothers me. I don't have time to think about that. Why would I? That's an asinine thing to think about. I'm going to judge every person based on who they fucking are. All right? But I'm also not going to swallow this line. Car 58, be on the lookout for a purse snatcher. We have a purse snatcher. A woman has just had her purse snatched. Okay. And the purse snatcher is in a neighborhood that is 99%, take your pick. I'm not going to say what, purple. Okay. 99% purple and 1% everything else. Okay, that's not going to then dilute my natural brain's ability to say, although it is possible that the purse snatcher is potentially one of these other colors, it is more than likely going to be a purple person because this neighborhood is 99% purple. That is not profiling. That is common sense. That is, hey, where are we right now? If you're on Mars and somebody runs into your space shuttle and there's only 3 astronauts there or 4 that are human.
Likely.
And there's
it was
5 trillion Martians. Yeah. Likely it was a Martian. Fuck you. Yeah. So
Peaches.
We've lost our minds with
we
this
have.
stuff.
Well, it's charged.
I know that it's a topic that we probably didn't want to talk about or shouldn't. Or
I think we should.
I'm not afraid to talk about it.
It's freedom of speech. You know what was happening is Peaches was infringing on your constitutional right, is what she was doing. She was infringing on your right to free speech.
That's the email I should send back.
Damn you, Peaches.
You're infringing on my red, white, and blue constitutional rights, you pit.
And guess what, Peaches? These colors don't run. They don't run at all. You know what? And that's the beautiful thing is it's like we live in a democracy and people should be able to say, you know what? I don't agree with you, Jack. And that's okay. But to
yeah.
say that I don't agree with you and that you are an X, Jack, you are being a donut. You're being a donut because I'm choosing to call you a donut. No, Peaches, you're off base. You're off base,
so weak,
Peaches.
too, and pathetic. It's just like, really? That's the best you can do is sling that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's again how it initially hit me. Was just, oh my god, honestly. Anyway,
Okay.
all right.
One
there
more
you go.
time
That's
for
story done.
Peaches. One more time for Peaches. Stereotype. Racist.
We hope this single shot inspired you to want more Existence Brewing. To check out full episodes of the podcast and for more, head to existencebrewing.com or wherever you download your favorite podcasts online.
Existence Brewing.